Shame them.
They have been eating muffins. That looks like repentance.
They don't seem to notice us at all. Couldn't you cough?
But I haven't coughed.
Oh, they're looking at us. What effrontery.
They're approaching. Come forward then.
Let us preserve a dignified silence.
Certainly it's the only thing to do now.
This dignified silence seems to produce an unpleasant effect.
A most distasteful one.
But we will not be the first to speak.
Certainly not.
Mr. Worthing, I have something very curious to ask you. Much depends on your reply.
Wait a minute. Your common sense is invaluable. Mr. Moncrief, kindly answer me the following question. Why did you pretend to be my guardian's brother?
In order that I might have an opportunity of meeting you.
That simply seems to be a satisfactory explanation of the matter.
Yes, kid, you can believe me.
Well, I don't. But it does not affect the wonderful beauty of his answer.
In matters of grave importance, style, not sincerity, is the vital thing. Mr. Worthing, what explanation can you offer to me for pretending to have a brother? Was it in order that you might have the opportunity of coming up to town to see me as often as possible?
Can you doubt in this, perhaps?
I have the gravest doubts on the subject, but I didn't question. This is not the moment for German skepticism. The explanation appears to be quite satisfactory, especially Mr. Worthing's. That seems to me to have the stamp of truth upon it.
I am more than content with what Mr. Moncrief has said. His voice alone inspires one to absolute credulity.
Then you think we should forgive them?
Yes, I know.
True, I had forgotten there are principles at stake which one cannot surrender. But which of us should tell them the task is not a pleasant one?
Could we not both speak at the same time?
An excellent idea. I nearly always speak at the same time as other people. Will you take the time with me?
Certainly.
Your Christian names are still an insuperable barrier. That is all.
Our Christian names? Is that all? But we're going to be christened this afternoon.
For my sake, you are prepared to do this terrible thing?
I am.
To please me, you are ready to face this fearful ordeal?
I am.
How absurd to talk of the equality of the sexes, where questions of self-sacrifice are concerned. Men are infinitely beyond us.
We are.
Between anything absolutely nothing.
Darling,
Darling.
Lady Bracknell! Good heavens!
What does this mean?
merely that I am engaged to be married to Mr. Worthing, Mama.
Come here, sit down immediately. Hesitation in any form is a sign of mental decay in the young, physical weakness in the old. Arise, sir, my daughter's son and light, my trusty maid, whose confidence I purchased by means of a small coin. I followed her at once by luggage trade. Her unhappy father is, I am glad to say, under the impression that she is attending an unusually lengthy lecture by the University Extension Scheme on the influence of permanent income on thought. Indeed, I do not intend to undeceive him. I have never undeceived him on any question. I would consider it wrong. And now, Mr. Worthing, you must know that all communication between yourself and my daughter must cease immediately. On this point, as indeed on all points, I am firm.
I'm engaged to be married to Gwendolyn, Lady Bracknell.
You are nothing of the kind, sir. And now as regards Algernon,
Yes, Algernos. Very well then.
who is this woman whose hand might have been Algernon is holding in what seems to be a peculiarly unnecessary matter?
That lady is
but that can be easily altered. A thoroughly experienced French lady can produce a marvelous effect in a very short period of time. I remember recommending one to young Lady Lansing. Within 3 months, her own husband did not know her.
And after 6 months, nobody knew her.
Turn around, sweet child. Now the side view is what I want. Yes, just as I expected. There are distinct social possibilities in Miss Cardew's profile.
Cecily is the sweetest, dearest, prettiest girl in the whole world. I don't care 2 pence about social possibilities.
Algernon, do not speak disrespectfully of society. Only people who can get into it do that. But Miss Cardew, I must tell you that Algernon has nothing but his debts to live upon. I myself am not in favor of mercenary marriage. When I married Lord Bracknell, I had no source of income. But I didn't for a moment allow that to stand in my way. So I guess I must give my consent.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Cecily, may kiss me.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell.
And you may address me as Aunt Augusta for the future.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
I think the marriage had better take place quite soon.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
To speak frankly, I do not believe in long engagements. It gives the people the opportunity of finding out each other's character before marriage.
I beg your pardon for interrupting you, Lady Bracknell, but this engagement is quite out of the question. I am Miss Cardew's guardian, and she cannot marry without my consent. And that consent I absolutely decline to give.
Upon what grounds? Algernon is an extremely, I might even say ostentatiously eligible young man. He has nothing, but he looks everything. What more would you desire?
It pains me very much to have to speak frankly to you, Lady Bracknell, about your nephew. But the fact is, I don't approve of his moral character. I suspect him of being untruthful.
Untruthful? My nephew Algernon untruthful? Impossible. He is an Oxonian.
I fear there can be no possible doubt about the matter. This afternoon, during my temporary absence to London, on an important question of romance, he obtained admission into my house under the false pretense of being my brother. Under an assumed name, he drank, I've just been informed by my butler, an entire pint bottle of my Perrier Jouet Brut 89, a wine I was specially reserving for myself. Continuing his disgraceful deception, he succeeded in the course of the afternoon in alienating the affections of my only ward. He subsequently stayed for tea and devoured every single muffin. And what makes his conduct all the more heartless is he was very well aware from the first that I have no brother, I never had a brother, and I don't intend to have a brother, not even of any kind. I distinctly told him so yesterday afternoon.
Mr. Worthing, after careful consideration, I have decided entirely to overlook your conduct to my nephew.
That is very generous of you, Lady Bracknell. My own decision, however, is unalterable. I decline to give my consent.
Come here, dear child. How old are you?
Well, I'm really only 18, but I always admit to 20 when I go to evening parties.
Oh, you are quite right to make some slight alteration. Indeed, no woman should be entirely accurate about her age. Looks so calculating. 18, but admitting to 20th evening parties. Well, it won't be long until you are of the age and free from the restraints of tutelage. So I don't think your guardian's consent is, after all, a matter of any importance.
I beg your pardon for interrupting you again, Lady Bracknell, but it's only fair to tell you that, according to the terms of her grandfather's will, Miss Cardew does not come legally of age until she is 35.
Well, that does not seem to me to be a grave objection. 35 is a very attractive age. London society is full of women of the very highest birth, who of their own free choice have remained 35 for years. Lady Dumbledon is an instance in point. To my own knowledge, she has been 35 ever since arriving at the age of 40. That
Lady Bragg, the matter is entirely in your own hands. The moment you consent to my marriage with Gwendolyn, I will gladly allow your nephew to form an alliance with my ward.
Well, you must know that what you suggest is out of the question.
Then the passionate celibacy is all any of us can look forward to.
That is not the destiny I propose for Gwendolyn. Algernon, of course, can decide for himself. Come, dear, we've already missed 5, if not 6 trains. To miss any more might expose us to comment on the platform.
Everything is quite ready for the christenings.
The christening, sir. Is that not a bit premature?
Both of these gentlemen have expressed a desire for immediate baptism.
At their age, the idea is both grotesque and irreligious. Algernon, I forbid you to be baptized. I will not hear of such excesses. Lord Bracknell would be most disappointed if he thought that that is the way in which you are wasting your time and money.
And I don't understand then that there ought to be no christenings at all this afternoon.
As things are now, I don't think there would be much practical value to either of us at the time.
Oh, I am grieved to hear such sentiments from you, Mr. Burton. They savor of the heretical views of the Anabaptist. Views that I have completely refuted in form of my unpublished sermon. Baptismal regeneration is not a subject to be spoken lightly of. Indeed, by the unanimous opinion of the fathers, baptism is a form of new birth. However, as your present mood seems to be one peculiarly secular, I will return to the church at once. Indeed, I've been informed by the pew opener that for the past hour and a half, Miss Prism has been waiting for me in the vestry.
Prism? Did I hear you say Miss Prism?
Yes, Lady Bracknell. I'm on my way to join her.
Pray allow me to detain you for a moment, sir. This might be a very important aspect for Lord Bracknell and myself. Is this Miss Prism a female of repellent aspect? And anyway, remotely associated with education?
She's the most cultivated of ladies, and a picture of respectability.
Well, it's obviously the same person. What position does she hold in your household?
What position? I am the celibate, madam.
Miss Prism, Lady Bragg, has been for the last 3 years Miss Claudiu's esteemed governess and valued companion.
Well, in spite of what I hear of her, I must see her at once. Let her be sent for.
Oh, she approaches. She is nigh.
I was told to wait for you in the vestry, dear Canon. I waited there for an hour and 45 minutes.
Prism! Come here, Prism! Prism! Where is that baby? 28 years ago, you left Lord Bracknell's house at number 104 Upper Grosvenor Street with a perambulator that held a baby of the male sex. You never returned. After a few weeks, through the thorough investigation of the Metropolitan Police, the perambulator was found at midnight, standing by itself in a remote corner of Bayswater. It contained a manuscript of a 3-volume novel of more than usually revolting sentimentality. But the baby was not there. Prism, where is that baby?
Lady Bracknell, I admit with shame I do not know. I only wish I did. The plain facts of the case are these. On the morning of the day you mentioned, a day that is forever branded in my memory, I prepared as usual to take the baby out of the perambulator. I had also with me a rather old but capacious handbag in which I intended to place the manuscript of a work of fiction I had written in my few unoccupied hours. But in a moment of mental abstraction, for which I can never forgive myself, I placed the manuscript in the bassinet and the baby in the handbag.
But where did you deposit that handbag?
Do not ask me, Mr. Worthing.
Miss Prism, this is a matter of no small importance to me. I insist on knowing where you placed that handbag.
In the courtroom of one of the larger railway stations in London.
What railway station?
Victoria, Brighton line.
I must retire to my room for a moment. Gwendolyn, wait here for me.
If you are not too long, I will wait for you
Examine it carefully before you speak. The happiness of more than a life depends on your answer.
Well, it certainly seems to be mine. Yes, here's the injury it received during the upsetting of a Gower Street omnibus in younger, happier days. And here is the stain on the lining. This was caused by the explosion of a temperance beverage. This incident occurred in Bennington. And here are my initials on the line. I had forgotten that in an extravagant mood I had to place there. Oh, the bag is most certainly mine. I'm delighted to have it so unexpectedly restored to me. It's been a great inconvenience being without it all these years.
Miss Prison, more is restored to you than this handbag. I was the baby you placed in it.
You?
Yes, Mother!
It's Irving. I'm unmarried.
Unmarried? I do not deny that this is a serious blow. But after all, who has the right to cast a stone against one who has suffered? Cannot repentance wipe out an act of folly? Why should there be one law for man and another for women? Mother, I forgive you.
Mr. Worthing, there's been some mistake. There is the lady who could tell you who you really are.
Lady Bright?
Yes.
I hate to seem inquisitive, but would you kindly inform me who I am?
I'm afraid the news I have to give you will not altogether please you. You are the son of my poor sister, Mrs. Moncrief, and subsequently you are Algernon's older brother.
Algy's elder brother. Then I have a brother after all. I always knew I had a brother. Cecily, how could you ever doubt it after a brother? Dr. Touchable, my unfortunate brother. Miss Prism, my unfortunate brother. Gwendolyn, my unfortunate brother. You young scoundrel, you will have to treat me with more respect in the future. You've never behaved to me like a brother in all your life.
Well, not till today, old boy, I'll admit. I did my best, however, though I was out of practice.
My own one. But what own are you?
Good heavens! I had quite forgotten that point. Your decision on the matter of the name is irrevocable, I suppose.
I never change, except in my affections.
What beautiful things you have, Gwendolyn.
Then the matter better be cleared up at once. Aunt Augusta, a moment. When Miss Prism placed me in that handbag, had I been christened already?
Every luxury that money could buy, including christening, had been bestowed upon you by your fond and doting parents.
Then I was christened. That is so. Now what name was I given? Let me know the words.
Well, being the eldest son, you were naturally christened after your father.
Yes, but what was my father's Christian name?
I can't seem to recall the general's Christian name, though I have no doubt he had one. He was eccentric, I will admit, but that was in later years, and it was because of the Indian climate and the marriage and the indigestion and things of that sort.
Algy, can you recollect what our father's Christian name was?
My dear boy, we were never even on speaking terms. He died before I was a year old.
He would be in the army list through the period, I suppose, Aunt Augusta?
Well, the general was essentially a man of peace, except in his domestic life. I would imagine his name would appear in any military directory.
The army list for the last 40 years I'm here. These delightful records should have been my constant study. Generals, Mallow, Marksman, Margaret. What ghastly names they have. Marksman, Migsby, Moles, Moncrief. Lieutenant 1840, Captain, Lieutenant Colonel, Colonel, General, 1869, Christian names, Earnest, John. I always told you, Gwendolyn, my name was Earnest. Well, it is Earnest after all. I mean, it naturally is Earnest.
Yes, I recall the general's Christian name was Ernest. I knew I had a particular reason for not liking the name.
nothing but the truth. Can you forgive me?
I can, for I feel that you are short to change.
My dear Gwendolen.
Friend, at last.
Caesar. Gwendolen, at last.